So Joe Biden just announced that every American who's been, quote, fully vaccinated should take a booster shot starting next month. Well, that's kind of strange. We were told the vaccine would keep you from getting COVID, and now all around us we see people who are fully vaccinated getting COVID. Just happened to the governor of Texas this week. Tonight, the Sun Journal of Lewiston, Maine is reporting that Senator Angus King of Maine, fully vaccinated, has COVID. What's going on here? Well, maybe they don't have their booster shots. Well, what are the booster shots? What's the science behind them? What side effects do they cause? Are they necessary? Why are they necessary? What is going on? Alex Berenson has looked at the data on all of this and joins us tonight to sort it out. Alex Berenson, thanks so much for coming on. What should we make of this?
Well, Tucker, there is so much here. Before I get to that, I have to say to you, thank you. When last we spoke, Twitter had banned me or blocked me for a week. And we talked about that, and we talked about my Substack. I'm back on Twitter now, and people can follow me there.
Good.
But more importantly, thanks largely to you and to your viewers, there's now almost 100,000 people signed up for the Substack. So if Twitter bans me permanently, they can't silence me, and I really have you to thank for that. So let me get that out of the way. Well, thank you. By the way, what they banned me about last month was saying, look at the data in Israel. The vaccines are failing, and that is why the Israelis are now pushing a third shot, and that is going to come here. Well, guess what? The New York Times yesterday wrote a story that said basically the vaccines in Israel are failing. Here's what we know, and this, there's a tremendous amount of science here. It's hard to go into in a couple minutes, but very quickly, the vaccines cause a short-term spike in antibodies, okay? When you're injected with a vaccine, your body produces a lot of spike protein. Your body then produces antibodies to that protein. For a short period of time, you have very good protection after the second shot against being infected. Unfortunately, it's now obvious that protection does not last. And instead of acknowledging that probably the only way we're going to get through this in the long run is just by people getting infected and recovering, as some people suggested was the best move to make last year. The people who are in charge of the public health establishment, who have been telling you for a year that vaccines are the miracle that's going to get us out of this, are on this desperate strategy to try to boost immunity again with a third shot. The problem is they have no clinical trial evidence that that's actually going to work in the long run. They barely have any evidence that it's going to work in the short run. They have evidence from, and I'm not exaggerating, dozens of people. The original clinical trials were conducted on tens of thousands of people. This is a very dangerous game that they're playing, and they know it.
If there's no evidence, how are they forcing this on the entire American population? How is that allowed?
Well, they haven't quite been able to force it yet, but what they're doing with the original vaccines is they're getting private companies to do their dirty work for them, for the most part, private companies and schools. And so there's more and more quasi mandates happening. Now, with it clear that we're going to need at least a third shot, I presume that at some point they're going to say to all those people who consider themselves fully vaccinated now, guess what? You're not fully vaccinated. You need a third shot. The problem, again, is they don't know at what point the vaccine or the antibodies that the third shot generates will wane. I'm sorry. And so when will they need a fourth shot? When will they need a fifth shot? They have absolutely no idea what path they're taking us on. And again, sorry.
We're out of time. I just said this is too crazy. We can't participate. Alex Berenson, great to see you. Thanks so much.